Well, one of the big stories that is going on here in Florida is after New York City basically brought that shelter in place into effect where pretty much everything, at least by name, is shut down. A lot of people in New York are saying, let's head to Florida. I mean, the airline rates are crazy cheap.
It's like spring break.
Yeah. Somebody texted in and said, yeah, my cousin just came from New York to Naples, and he is on the 14-day quarantine, and the flight only cost him $14.
$14? So does that mean if I wanted to buy a flight now for December, it would be dirt cheap, or it doesn't work like that when you buy flights?
I don't know. You'd have to go look.
Maybe.
That requires a lot of research.
It does, but it's like 2 seconds.
But you're so good at it.
Is this how you get me to do it for you?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Somebody else texted in and said if they're fleeing Newark or New York so they don't have to comply to their mandatory quarantine, do you really think that they're going to self-quarantine in Florida? Just like that other lady that came down here from New York with a bad attitude? I don't know who that person was. Is that the person that got the positive test and then got on the plane anyway?
Yeah, that was the JetBlue guy, yeah.
Okay.
That was almost 2 weeks ago, you know
I
that?
know.
Wow. Well, we got an email from one of our KBJ Nationers, Haley. She is a flight attendant and loved her email. She said that she just wanted to share with us some things that she's experienced on the plane and in airports as a flight attendant working for the world's largest airline since the coronavirus pandemic. Hello, Haley.
Hi, guys. Good morning.
Good morning. I love some of the stuff that you did here because it is interesting to watch people just to see how everybody is handling all this pandemic coronavirus news and how it's going on. I can only imagine the airports and the airlines are very interesting as well. This is one thing. You put point one that you've noticed. Passengers wearing winter gloves and mittens, not latex gloves.
Yes, a lot of older passengers I've noticed have been wearing like fabric fleece winter gloves instead of latex gloves. I don't know if they couldn't find any or if they think they're similar, but I have noticed many winter gloves and hats being worn in tropical temperatures.
Okay, all right, so a lot more gloves. You said that you noticed a passenger with surgical gloves and a mask go into the bathroom with no shoes on?
Oh.
Yeah, no shoes, no socks, barefoot. They took precautions for the gloves and the mask, but we always say the water on the floor in the lavatory is not water. So you should definitely not go into the lab anytime with no shoes.
That is gross. And that's coming from somebody who walks around barefoot is kind of gross themselves. That is gross.
Well, this is probably the one thing, and we did start out the show talking about this. Point three, you said here, and things that you've noticed on airplanes or in airports. You said a passenger walked into the lavatory with latex gloves on and then walked out of the lavatory wearing the exact same gloves. And I don't know what it is. People right now are thinking that latex gloves is this magical protection against coronavirus. So they're wearing them all over the place, collecting all these germs, including which could be coronavirus, and then touching their face and spreading the germs.
Germ gloves.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what they're doing. Then they touch their phone, they touch the seats, they touch everything. They go in the labs, don't change their gloves. Exactly what they do.
It is really an amazing thing. In fact, a registered nurse from St. Lucie County, she hit us up on Facebook, and she said, look, I'm just trying to help educate the public, and the gloves that people are wearing is counterproductive because they're touching all kinds of stuff and not changing their gloves often enough. The best thing to do is just wash your hands frequently. So for some reason now, people think strapping on latex gloves is making them immune from coronavirus, and it probably is doing the opposite.
But when do you shut down the washing to the point where, okay, I just washed my hands. Oh, I just went outside and touched the fence. Oh, do I wash my hands again? Oh, I just walked outside and touched the leaf. I touched my truck. How many times I got to wash?
It's a good question. I was thinking it is an experiment for us doing a hand washing log, I guess, or journal, just to see how many times, like, just put a notch down every time you wash your hands. How many times would you guess you're washing your hands every day?
I don't know, because I go through really good runs and then I go back to my stupid thinking and then I'll go 3 hours without just, milling around, touching things. And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, Corones.
I think I'm at around 7, if I had to guess. Would you say you're over or under that, Virginia? Hand washing.
Probably right around that.
I'm right around that probably.
Okay.
I don't leave my house very often, so it's only when I leave my house and then I come back in that I'm doing it with vigor.
Okay.
But when I'm in my house, I'm trying to, like, in my head, imagine that I've created this safe bubble where there is no coronavirus. So I come right in and wash my hands, and then I feel like everything in the bubble is safe because I'm not letting anybody else leave but me.
I had to go out, take out the trash. One of my neighbors helped me with the actual trash thing. He's like right next to me. I'm throwing that in there, and then I wash my hands, and then I have to go back outside, touch my truck really quick. I'm like, gotta wash them again. Gotta keep washing. It's kind of driving some people crazy, Virginia.
It is.
I know.
All right, Haley is on here. She's a flight attendant. These are things that she's observed in airplanes and airports since the coronavirus started on. You said passengers putting holes or slits in their masks so they can still drink and eat snacks.
Yes.
What?
It seems like they have their own straws and they'll like puncture a hole through their mask and drink their drinks. And I have passengers in the first class who get full meal services, and they'll just cut a slit or take their masks off completely just to eat dinner, which seems to defeat the purpose of it, but each their own.
Another point that you put here, and I would not think this would be a byproduct of how people are behaving on flights. You said that there's not a lot of people on these flights. You say what, about maybe 20 passengers sometimes on planes that hold about 180 people, Haley?
Yeah, I've seen on average 20. There's more or less. I had a friend who worked to Hawaii who had about 3 people on their entire flight.
Wow.
So there's definitely these planes that hold 180, 200 people. There's about 20 people on them.
And so now, because there's less people, you're noticing that couples are trying to get a little bit more frisky?
Yeah, I didn't personally see this, but when I got into work, a coworker told me to be careful because passengers are sitting together with blankets, and because there's not many people around, and especially on overnight flights when all the lights are off, because there's not any witnesses really, they've been getting pretty close, or trying to, on flights.
I mean, you got all this room. There's no witnesses, Virginia.
You got a little gin in your belly from the beverage cart?
Oh, yeah. I can see you and Panda get a little frisky.
Not right now. First of all, you would not see me on a plane. You will not see me.
Yeah.
On a plane or getting frisky.